Ellie and the Skywell mirror the winds above the cliffs howled like forgotten voices. Ellie stood on the edge of the Skywell plateau, her scarf flapping wildly. Before her stretched the ruins of a once glorious temple, shattered columns, mossy steps, and glimmering shards of colored glass half buried in stone. No one came up here anymore. Not since the temple crumbled and the storms took over. But Ellie wasn't no one. She had followed the winds. She had followed a dream, one whispered by a crow with silver eyes. In the center of the ruins, nestled between vines and feathers, stood a frame. Not a doorway, not a window, a mirror. Except it wasn't reflecting the stormy skies or the temple ruins or even Ellie. Instead, inside the mirror stood a version of herself. Older, calmer, stronger. She had a cloak of stars and eyes full of knowing. Ellie stepped closer. The reflection didn't move like her. It stood still, watching, waiting. "What are you?" Ellie asked. The mirror pulsed softly. Words formed across the glass like morning mist, the self you could become. Ellie reached out, but her fingers stopped inches away. A sudden gust knocked her back, and the mirror cracked. Not shattered, but a single line running down the middle. The wind howled again. Then silence. Ellie looked up. The reflection was gone. Now, the mirror showed only fog and her own face. Small, uncertain, but still standing. She didn't know what the mirror meant, but she knew one thing. She wasn't done yet. Ellie made camp beneath a broken arch of the temple. The wind had softened, as if curious now rather than angry. She couldn't sleep. The words still echoed in her mind. The self you could become. She sat near the cracked mirror, watching moonlight slide across its surface. It no longer showed the powerful version of her, just shadows and glimmers. Was that really me? She whispered. A soft voice answered, not with words, but emotion, a memory. Ellie was 7, hiding behind her mother's cloak during a thunderstorm. Crying. Afraid. Her mother had said, "Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's walking forward even while you're shaking." Ellie blinked. The mirror shimmered. She touched the crack. A warmth spread through her palm. Suddenly, the mirror lit up, and Ellie was no longer in the temple. She stood inside a strange dreamscape. Stars floated like fireflies, and paths made of light led in every direction. And standing before her was herself again. The version from earlier. Only this time, the figure spoke. "You doubt your worth," she said gently. "You forget your victories, but they are part of you." Ellie looked down. She still wore her dusty boots and storm-tossed scarf. She felt small. "I'm not strong," Ellie said. "I get scared. I mess up." The other Ellie nodded. "And yet you keep going. That's what makes you strong." A path of glass rose before them, suspended in the air. At the far end, a glowing door. The reflection stepped aside. "This path isn't easy. You'll see your past. You'll face it. But if you walk it, I will be waiting." Ellie hesitated only a moment, then placed one foot on the glass. It held, and she walked. The glass path stretched far above the world, weaving through stars, memory, and silence. Each step Ellie took shimmered beneath her feet, glowing briefly, then dimming, as if remembering her passage. Soon, images formed in the air around her like floating windows. Her first failure, the time she let a friend down, the moment she gave up halfway up a cliff out of fear, the day she told herself she'd never be brave like others. Each memory tried to pull her down. They whispered, "You're not enough. You'll never become her." But Ellie kept walking. With each step, the whispers grew quieter. With each breath, the path felt steadier. She reached a platform. At its center stood a tall, polished version of the mirror. This one showed not a possible future, but all of her. Every success, every scar, every lesson. Ellie saw the girl who'd stood up to the storm crows. The one who'd helped a crying fox pup find its family. The one who kept going even when it hurt. And she realized the powerful version of herself wasn't someone she had to become. It was someone she already was becoming. Step by step, she placed her hand against the final mirror. A warm light spilled out, not blinding, but soft like sunrise. It wrapped around her like a hug. And when it faded, she was back in the temple. But something had changed. The broken mirror in the temple was now whole, shining. Her reflection smiled at her, tired, strong, real. From her backpack, The little music box jingled once, as if sensing the change. Ellie stood. The wind had stopped completely. She looked out toward the horizon. A new trail waited beyond the temple ruins. She didn't know exactly where it led, but this time, she walked forward not to become someone new, but to remember who she already was. Ellie the Brave.